Hi, I'm John Turzak, and once again I'm going to answer a question. And the question today is how to make white meat stock with poultry, or in this case, chicken, which is ideal. Now, why would you make it and who would make it? First of all, you got to be a serious cook to make this. This is a stock that you would use to supplement anything that you would use regular chicken stock in, for example. This would be exclusively a white stock for white preparations, okay? I have veal neck bones down here that have been split, and the reason I chose these is because they have a lot of meat on them. So there's a meat stock here. Now you can use any kind of beef or veal or a combination of that has meat on it. Or you can use just meat, of course, if you have meat to use. So I have about 10 pounds there of that. I'm going to put that in our stock pot. This is going to cook overnight. And I have chicken necks and backs down here, which we're going to add to it. So why would people make this, and why have you not heard or seen a lot about this before? This is the ultimate white stock in terms of chicken stock versus any other white stock. This is the ultimate one. It's a combination of white veal or beef mixed with the chicken. So I got about 3 pounds of chicken backs here and a couple of necks. It's got a little bit too many bones in here. I'm going to take a couple of these veal bones out of here. And I'm going to put them on the fire. And I'm going to cover them with cold water. And I'm going to bring this up slowly. So I got the pot almost full. I'm saving a little bit of room for the celery, carrots, and onions, mirepoix, and some garlic I'm putting in there along with thyme and bay leaf. But I'm going to wait to put that in until after we skim off the stuff that's going to come to the top, and I'm going to bring you back. We're going to time-elapse this, and I'm going to show you how much is accumulated. We're going to skim it off. Then we're going to dump the vegetables, the garlic, and the thyme and bay leaf in and let it cook overnight. And when we come back, after it's cooked, I'll tell you what has progressed. I mean, if I added water to it throughout the time it was cooking and so on. So we're going to wait for that to come back up to the fire. Now I'm going to say one more time for you, why would you make this? This is the ultimate version of a chicken stock that isn't 100% tasting like chicken, but has more depth. So if you're a serious cook or a professional cook, you want to pay attention to the use of the white meat stocks in terms of making sure your repertoire is wide and deep, because this is one of the underutilized and most delicious stocks in the world of making stocks, period. So we'll be back when this comes up to a simmer and it's time to skim it. All right, the veal stock is simmering. Let's take a look at it here real quick. You see the scum that's on it? It's been about, almost 2 hours. I'm bringing it up slow because I don't ever want it to really boil. I'm getting all this excess fat and scum out of here before I add the vegetables and the thyme and the bay leaf to it. There's a lot of fat here. And at this point, you're throwing very little flavor away because the extraction from the meat and the bone just really hasn't fulfilled its destiny yet, so to speak. But that is the level at which this should be simmering. And this soup, or rather this stock, is going to be cooking for simmering like this somewhere between 10 and 15 hours. We're going to come back to this tomorrow. So I'm getting the last of that fat off of there. Because once you pile all the veggies on and you put the herbs in, you don't want to have to do this fundamental initial skimming because you'll be taking off. And plus the vegetables get in the way of the skimming. It's the initial skimming, you know. You doesn't mean I'm not coming back to add cold water to this in 4 or 5 hours as it begins to reduce away and skim it some more, which I will be doing. But for right now, let's get our couple of quarts of mirepoix in here. And I got 3 whole garlic bulbs that I cut in half here. Let's see if we can just dump the rest of this in here now. And I'm going to add some thyme. I got a couple of tablespoons of thyme on here. Could I put other stuff in here? Yeah, I could put mushrooms in here. But, you know, I'm making a really good generic version for you in this particular lesson. Remember, you can always flavor the stock or the final sauce that this ends up with whatever you want. But this generic version, which is just the mirepoix, the thyme and bay leaf, and the veal neck bones in this case, and chicken backs, is the perfect combination for you to learn how to make, because this is the nucleus of this type of white meat stock. So again, we're going to let it cook for 8, 10, 12, let's see how it is. I'm falling asleep on this tonight, and then I'll look at it in the morning, and I'll bring you up to speed on how much water I may have added to it, how much skimming I had to do, which isn't going to be very much, because there wasn't a lot of fat on any of those bones. And then we'll talk about it tomorrow, and at that point, we'll strain it and reduce it, and I'll talk to you a little bit about storing it and some of the basic things you can make on it, which doesn't go beyond all of the things that you use chicken stock to make. This can be used for the most part. So I'll see you sometime tomorrow when this stock is done. Okay, the white veal and chicken stock, or white veal and poultry stock, has been cooking for 22 hours. And I'm taking it off the stove right now. I've added about 1.5 gallons of water to it. I don't know if you can see, but that's also how much evaporated. So we probably lost about 4 gallons total, maybe 5 gallons total of, no, 4 gallons total of liquid during the cooking process. And now we're going to get it strained, and we're going to put it on the stove to reduce. Let me get some of this out with this. Make this a little bit easier. No, it's not easier that way. Too many bones in the way. And this is where your dog comes in, because these bones are basically garbage now. And I'm going to throw that all out. And what we have here, notice how I'm beating this out. I think that pot is too big. I'm going to get a different pot to reduce this in. Thought there was more in there than what actually came out. The stock looks really good. Alright, I'm going to put this on to reduce, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with it. In about 45 minutes to an hour, I'll come back and we'll talk about stuff to do with that stock. But everything you'd use chicken stock for, you can use this stock for. This is, again, I want to remind you, this is the ultimate white stock / chicken / white meat, veal, whatever it is, ends up being in it. I'll see you in about an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, the white veal stock, it's been simmering and reducing for about an hour, and it's about just about half of what we started out with earlier today, or an hour ago. So I'm going to strain this again. I'm the kind of cook that can strain the same thing 10 times if necessary. Yeah, this container's a little too big for me, but I needed this size to strain it. Now let's stick it into the storage container it's going to end up with. I'm going to use this like I would use chicken stock, especially for something that's a little meatier. So there it is, white veal and poultry / chicken stock. This is a great stock to have in your repertoire. Put it in there.